That's how they get you.
Exactly. Hello, and welcome. This is Her Talk Show. My name is Sabrina Victoria. I am so excited to have you here today. As you can tell from the title of this, we are going to be hello, and welcome. This is Her Talk Show. My name is Sabrina Victoria.
Here we go.
I am so excited to have you here today. We're already having issues, so that's great. That was my that was my YouTube channel going live with us. That was my echo. I was just telling the ladies right before we jumped on, I'm like, I've never done this before, so there's going to be some issues. And then we're like, let's go. And then 30 seconds in, issue. All right, this is Her Talk Show. My name is Sabrina Victoria. Today we're diving into a subject that is all the rage right now. We're going to be talking about AI and how it's impacting your business. If you are in the world of business, if you're a woman in the world of business, I know for certain every single time you log on to social media, there is a new AI specialist that's trying to sell you some sort of AI platform to help you go faster and bigger and expand faster than you've ever done in your whole motherfucking life. And it's causing a lot of havoc. It's just causing a lot of uncertainty. Should I? Shouldn't I? There are still so many business owners that are not down with it. They're not down with it, and we want to talk about it. So, some of the things that we're seeing, I pulled a few headings from the news that are recently hitting. How AI is completely changing YouTube content. Leaders are turning to AI for faster, smarter insights. How to protect your brand's humanity to avoid drowning in the sea of AI. AI and cost cutting lead to the worst October layoffs. And IBM is laying off thousands of employees as its AI business surges. So we're going to dive into this, right? We're talking to small to mid-sized businesses. We cater to women businesses. I have two ladies here. These ladies are not here selling you AI. And that's what I think is so cool about these. These ladies here are in business. They're in business. So we have Naturopathic Wellness Consultant Michelle Drew with us, and we have Astrological brand designer and strategist Elizabeth Romsloe here with us. And we're going to be diving in. We're going to be diving into how we are using AI in our business to help us move forward. And what are some things that are negative, positive? What's the overall consensus? And give you a kind of like a 100-foot view of what we have going on in our businesses and our viewpoint on it. So I'd love to just kind of start off. Ladies, how do you see AI impacting your industry specifically? So now all three of us are in completely different industries. We do predominantly work with women as our clients, but how are you seeing it impacting your industry specifically?
Do you want to go first, Elle?
Sure. So in branding, I think in general, it will help educate and raise awareness around what exactly branding is and how important it is, because it will make all of the various and sundry pieces of branding more accessible to people. Everything from the strategy to the design. Do I think it's going to replace a designer or a strategist? Absolutely not. There's never going to be an opportunity where a robot is going to replace the experience and, more importantly, like the real world intuition of being able to feel into a situation. But on a whole, I think that if someone is coming to, earlier today we were in another meeting, all three of us together, and Michelle referred to her chatbot as her boyfriend, and I love that so much. But if people are coming to their boyfriend for advice on their brand, because of the nature of the open-ended conversation, there's inevitably going to be some education happening, like by accident. So people are going to find themselves discovering like, oh, I didn't even realize that, maybe perhaps in order to decide what my brand colors are or my brand symbolism is, I should probably get my messaging down pat first. So I see that happening organically for people.
Yeah. I really like how you're bringing up intuition. That is one of the things that I've been really leaning on whenever we're coming into a conversation around AI. It's like, yes, it is replacing things, but it's never going to, replace the intuition that all of us are bringing to the table as far as a real human interaction. I love that. Michelle Drew, how is AI impacting your industry specifically?
Yeah, definitely. And I'd like to address that the way I heard it said, AI can replace the left brain tasks, but it will never replace the right brain emotion, feeling, relationship, connection. That's never going to happen. So I love that. So yeah, in my industry and in wellness across the boards, it can be very task heavy. And when you're doing the tasks, I talk with health professionals all the time, and they're like, how am I ever going to scale my business? I'm trading time to spend time with my patients, and then I'm behind the scenes doing the stuff.
Totally.
So if you can automate the stuff, the emails, the follow-up emails, the sales emails, right? Yeah. You can free yourself up. I get paid to spend time with people. I don't get paid to do an email or, a sales blast or whatever. I get paid for my time with humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that you're bringing this up because the next question that I wanted to ask is, how is it specifically saving you time in your business? I know this has become huge for me. I was just having a conversation with my boyfriend literally yesterday with this new AI employee that I'm kind of working with. I kept seeing all these ads and I'm like, dude, really, for real? This is a thing? And I jumped in, went to an AI seminar this weekend, I think a similar one that Michelle went to. And I finally was just like, you know what? I can do this. And I was like, dude, this is going to save me like 10 hours a week in just this one little itty bitty thing that this little AI robot employee is doing for me. So I would love to know, how has AI helped or hindered your ability to save time in your business?
I can give you an example just this weekend.
Yeah.
I was asked to put together a proposal for a fundraiser for a nonprofit organization, an afternoon of wellness. I would have sat staring at a blank screen for God knows how long. And I never would have come away with the proposal that I did. And it was to a friend of mine. And she's known me since I was 6. She was like, dude, this is a great proposal. This is like the best I've seen. So, she has a couple of tweaks because I ad-libbed a couple of things, but that alone, I had a complete proposal inside of 30 minutes.
Wow.
And that was with me editing it, because I don't send anything out straight from my boyfriend. Yeah. My boyfriend needs editing. So we lost Al. Yeah. But within inside of 30 minutes, I had this beautiful proposal that I could present and get that fundraiser on the books.
That's great. Yeah, it's crazy. I sometimes sit and I think to myself, I can't even imagine ever going back, number one. And number two, really feeling like sympathy, empathy for individuals that just really aren't understanding how it can benefit us and just absolutely refuse. And I'm just like, dude, you have no idea how much time this could save someone. So one of the things that when I was telling the story earlier about my AI employee, what it did, right? Because I just did it this weekend. So what it did is it took all of my calls from today. I woke up today and I opened up my email and there was an email from my AI employee. Her name is Susie. And I clicked And she had gone through all of my emails and all of my CRM, and it wrote a synopsis. She wrote a synopsis of every single call that I had today. So you know how like when you're in a call, a networking call, and you're like, okay, like Tracy was my first call today. And you're like, just quickly going through here. I'm like, how do I know this person? What has she done? Where is she at? You're like skimming everything. Who introduced? I didn't have to do jack shit. She literally wrote a 1 paragraph of when we first talked, email that was first sent, who connected us, who connected that person to this person, what she does, and what the AI thinks I should promote to her, taking everything into consideration.
Wow.
It was like, I don't think you should try to promote this product. I think you'd be best promoting this product. For every single call, I had 7 calls today. I didn't have to search on anything. I literally got on the call. I had my little thing printed out, and I just skimmed it.
And how much time did that save you?
And how fucking amazing and brilliant did I sound when I was like, dude, do you know that we've been talking since 2022?
Wow.
Yeah, just right off the cuff.
That's
just
amazing.
because it said it there.
Which platform is your assistant on?
Use Motion.
Oh, okay.
I pay for it's not cheap, but they just integrated these AI employees. I don't know if they're going to make us pay for them. I don't know if they're teasing us right now or what's going on, but I'm now totally sold, and it's almost like I don't even care how much it costs. Probably shouldn't say it out loud, but dude.
That's one thing. Yeah, it's the data processing.
Yeah.
And just like humans, AI can make mistakes.
Oh yeah.
And also, it makes mistakes faster. A lot faster than if it was the human going through your entire database to find. So it's always worth like double checking the work, just as you might want to double check the work of an employee. But the speed is exponential.
Yep.
As far as how it's impacted my business, are we still on that question?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not exactly sure. The internet's always a little hinky around here in these Colombian parts, so apologies. For me, one of the biggest impacts that AI has made is directly related to it's an accessibility issue and my ADHD, and helping me overcome analysis paralysis and decision fatigue.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing this with just a generic chat. My GPT is incredible. I mean, it is very well seasoned with me, my personality, information on my business, information on my ideal client, the platforms that I use, the offers that I have available, how I serve people, obviously like my brand voice, all of that stuff. And when I talk about branding, for instance, I always like to say like the business plan is in the brand. It's a decision that you have made, like to be in alignment with your values. So when your brand is sufficiently established, when you have new opportunities come to you, you have a litmus test to measure those new opportunities. Is this in alignment with my brand? Is this in alignment with my business plan for this quarter, for this year, for the next 5 years? Or is this a distraction? Because not every opportunity is a good opportunity. Not every opportunity, even if it's a great opportunity, should be a yes. So having all of that stuff seasoned into my GPT, I can literally converse with it. And of course, I'm still the one making the final decision, but it's still a temperature check against all of the thoughts and feelings and decisions that I've made about how I want to be running my business moving forward, to kind of keep myself in line and in check and like on track and not spiraling out. I mean, I might still be working on my website if I didn't have my GPT to help make various and sundry decisions on, the layout, the copy, which type of photo shoot photos I should be using, so on and so forth. So that's one of the biggest things. People forget about how much AI has evened the playing field in terms of accessibility issues like that.
Yeah. I like how you're talking about having the final say, because I think that is an issue sometimes with individuals that are really just staying away from it. We have to remember that just because ChatGPT is producing something, doing something, saying something, first of all, like Elle said, double check, right? Which I did do actually this time, because I was like, no fucking way. So I like went in and I double checked everything, and everything was correct across. It was crazy. Which was even more like baffling. So double checking, right? Like Elle said. And then two, you have the final say. So this isn't like, oh, it produced it. This is what I have to use, right? You can massage it as much or as little as you would like to massage it. Taking that into consideration, the conversation around dehumanizing, right? I was just watching a TikTok earlier today that literally had me almost on the floor dying of laughter. There's this segment that I follow by this guy, I think his name is Cedric, where he's doing work on his house. It's called like Fuck This House is what it's called. And basically it's DIY projects he's working on his house. So the DIY project that I was just watching this morning, where he found out there was wasps living in his chimney. So he like put the phone up and there's like wasps all over his freaking chimney. And he's like, I'm calling a guy, right? I'm calling a guy to help me, because like there's no way I can't do that, because he's always doing these weird things and he like barely does it, can't do it. It's hilarious. But this is like he's not going to do it. So he's like, I called 3 wasp places and all I kept getting is a Google talk, like somebody just trying to Google talk to him. He's like, this is all I want. All I want is some big fat guy named Gary to pick up the phone. And then he's like, yo, what do you want? And he's like, I got wasps in my chimney. And then Gary says, I can be there at 1 p.m. It'll cost you $150. And he's like, and then I will say, I'll see you at 1. And then Gary, the same dude, will just show up at my house and clean out my chimney. That is what I want. So, right. So we're losing a lot of that. He said every connection that he called was a Google, leave a voice, some lady, right? He couldn't talk to a person. So when it comes to your businesses specifically, it could be posting, right? We're posting, you're reading a post. Is this written by Elle, Michelle, Sabrina, or is this written by ChatGPT? People have that. Even me, when I'm reading stuff, sometimes I'm like, am I wasting my time? Is this like some ChatGPT shit that I'm reading right now? Or is this somebody's real words if I'm going to be spending the time to read this? Is this real, or is this some shit I could just ChatGPT by myself? So how are you specifically making sure that your business isn't crossing the line to dehumanizing your business so that you can still keep your relationships with your customers? Like, where are you staying present and refusing to use some sort of AI in order to make sure that you're staying present?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that guy's pain when I get a bot, when I'm making a phone call, or even on chat, if I'm on my bank or whatever, and I get a chat, I'm like, you can't answer my questions. Stop it. And it's like you type in agent and they're like, oh, what do you need to tell the agent? And it drives me crazy. Yeah. So I'm really careful not to cross the line. There are a lot of things in chat that I won't use. I don't want chat to be the face of my business or the voice of my business. I look to it for help for the tasks. And I keep it all left brain task stuff. The right brain stuff belongs to me, and I like it that way.
Love that. Love that. What about you, Elle?
I feel like I want to point out that the Touchstone menu problem has been a problem way longer than we've had ChatGPT.
Good point. Good point.
I mean, I know AI is a lot older than these platforms. It's been running in the background of so much of what we've been using.
Yeah.
And also those over the phone menus, however infuriating. We've been making jokes about press 1 for English for a good 20 years, I think, if not longer. So I just wanted to point that out. And I'm sort of reluctant to jump into the like writing emails on my behalf type of situation. Just because I know that it can make mistakes. I would rather be the one to make the mistake than than the robot. If when I automate too much, there's the object permanence, and I forget that it's even running, and then I'm like, oops, I didn't necessarily mean for it to be running that long. So I'm reluctant to go full on in to things that I just leave. It's more AI that I'm using for me in my present moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. And then as far as individuals, business owners that are just not down with the AI thing, they're either just, they don't have the time, could be the time, right? They're just like, I just can't, I don't have the time to figure out all this, or just straight up refusing it. What would be the message to those people? Do you have a message to them as far as where they're going to start falling behind, possibly, if they don't start using AI? I guess, what would be your message to them? You're cool, you got time, no worries. Or is there a little more urgency on getting educated on some of this? What would be your personal opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I was on that training 3 days last week about AI and how the time is now. 6 months from now, it's going to be too late, right? And what they said, and it made a lot of sense to me. I mean, yes, a lot of task-driven jobs are being replaced by AI, customer service, things like that. But the right brain feeling, emotion, like interaction, those are never going to be replaced. But those people could be replaced by someone who's using AI and getting the tasks off their table so they can do their primary function more efficiently.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's not that AI, I love that, Michelle. It's not that AI is going to take over your job. It's that somebody who's utilizing AI in their business is going to take over because they can move so much quicker than you in the situation that Michelle is talking about. What about you, Elle? That was great, Michelle. Thank you.
Thanks.
I sort of have like a two sides of the same coin. Proceed with caution.
Okay.
Because I see too. I know I agreed that I was like a hard yes on AI. I'm a hard yes on AI for myself, and also I understand where the trepidation lies. And I think for those who are a hard pass on AI for like ethical reasons, the water usage to cool the computer units, the art is theft argument, which I make the argument that all art is theft, but that's maybe not for today's discussion. Are you also committed to only hiring contractors? Like, is your team also not using AI? Like, how deep does it go in your business? Because if you're growing your business and you're scaling, you are going to be hiring people. And so are those people also not using, how many layers deep is your commitment to a hard pass on AI? Mm-hmm. And also jumping full in, feet first, I would caution against anyone who's like putting all of their eggs in the AI basket. Right now, we are in an era where AI is still relatively new, and people are putting their IP onto these platforms. and marketing it. And when your product is the AI, you're putting yourself at risk, because right now it's very cheap to run, but it will not always be.
Yeah.
So when your whole business model is based off of providing either the AI as a bot for someone else's business, software as a service, that type of thing, it is going to get more expensive, and you're going to have to rethink your business model.
Yeah.
Just will, at some point or another. Are you, like, if you took the AI away from your business, what do you have left?
Yeah.
And if the answer is nothing, you are building yourself a shitstorm.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that, definitely. And also just really recognizing, ladies, that more so now than ever before, we're building relationships and community. Like, the more that I really dive into the AI and what it is, right? It's just an overload of knowledge. And when you start to recognize that, like, dude, you can get the answer to any motherfucking question that you have within seconds for pennies, for millipennies. I don't know what the word for that would be. It's no longer about what you know, but it's your personality, it's your vibe, it's your energy, it's your ability to be able to create connection, community, friendships, relationships, is what people are really going to be buying into. You know, I know a lot of the women that follow me here are working one-on-one with clients. They're working programs, they're working events, they're running memberships like myself. And if we're not all in on building relationships and networking, just like Elle said, I mean, there's nothing else. There is nothing else, because any knowledge that you have, they can Google on their own. They can ChatGPT on their own. So you have to be bringing, right? We mentioned intuition. And your ability to be able to connect, network, and build relationships is what you are selling now. That is what you are selling. So people are literally looking to connect with the right person, not necessarily somebody with the right knowledge, because they can get knowledge that they can get all the information that you know within moments. So really leaning into that and really taking some time to figure out where are you showing up at 100% when it comes to those things. Like Michelle said, do you say right brain or left brain? Right brain?
Right brain.
Right brain things
Yeah.
that you're bringing to the table. This was great. This was great. Yeah, thank you so much for being here, ladies. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up on this topic of AI and how it's impacting your business? Any closing thoughts?
Well, back in the beginning of the internet, did we think it was going to stay, or did we think it was going to go away?
Yeah.
It's still here.
Yeah, it's like that newscast, right? What was it? What is the internet, or what is online? Remember her? It's like, what is this internet thing? What even is it?
Yeah, can you imagine life without it now?
No, dude. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we lost Elle. This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here, hanging out with us. As always, for those of you that are listening until the very end, please make sure that you, Elle, are you there, Elle? Any closing thoughts, Elle?
Oh no, I was just going to add to the nostalgia of receiving AOL CDs in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Like, talk about marketing.
Good point. Yeah. Dude, I remember that AOL CDs. Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
You've got
this. Yeah. Well, this has been great. To those of you that are listening all the way to the end here, thank you so much for being here. Make sure to follow, like, and share. As always, I bring the best experts, authorities in the space for women business owners, health, wealth, and leadership, to make sure that the ladies within our community, the ladies who are looking to build businesses, have the best of the best when it comes to the education to keep them on track.